Here's a weird question. Have you ever caught yourself having a full conversation with yourself when nobody else was there? Maybe you're looking for your keys. Okay, where did I put them? Maybe you're trying to make a decision. Should I do it? No, that's a bad idea. Or maybe you're replaying a conversation from 3 hours ago, and somehow you're still winning the argument. Then you suddenly stop and think, wait, am I seriously talking to myself? Most people think that's weird, but here's the psychology fact nobody tells you. Talking to yourself is one of the most normal things your brain does. The strange part is, we spend more time talking to ourselves than we do talking to anyone else. Every day, every decision, every mistake, every embarrassing memory, there's always a voice commenting on what's happening. And once you understand why that voice exists, a lot of your behavior starts making sense. Because your confidence, your anxiety, even the way you handle problems, is influenced by that conversation happening inside your head. Think about it. When you're studying and get stuck, you talk yourself through the problem. When you're nervous before a presentation, you tell yourself to calm down. When you're trying not to text someone, you literally start negotiating with yourself. Don't do it. Just leave it. No, seriously, leave it. Most people imagine talking to yourself means standing alone in a room and having a dramatic conversation. But most self-talk is much smaller than that. It's happening constantly. You just don't notice it. But here's the part that's really interesting. That voice isn't there just to fill the silence. It's actually trying to help you. At least, most of the time. Your brain is dealing with thousands of thoughts every day. Questions, fears, possibilities, memories. And sometimes, everything gets messy. So your brain does something clever. It turns those thoughts into a conversation, because talking makes things easier to organize. That's why you'll hear yourself say things like, okay, let's think, or what should I do here? It's almost like your brain creates a teammate, so it can solve the problem together. You're not talking because you're losing control. You're talking because you're trying to gain control. But here's where things get complicated. The voice helping you solve problems can also become your worst critic. Think about the way you talk to yourself after making a mistake. Sometimes it's brutal. Of course I messed that up. Why am I like this? That was so stupid. And after hearing those thoughts enough times, you stop questioning them. You start believing them. And the scary part? Most people would never speak to their friends the way they speak to themselves. But here's the thing nobody wants to admit. That voice isn't always telling the truth. A thought is just a thought, not a fact, not evidence, not reality. Sometimes your brain is trying to protect you from embarrassment. Sometimes it's trying to protect you from failure. And sometimes it's protecting you so much that it keeps you from growing. So if you talk to yourself, don't worry. The goal isn't to stop the conversation. The goal is to pay attention to it. Here are 3 things worth remembering. First, not every voice in your head is you. Sometimes it's fear talking. Sometimes it's insecurity. Sometimes it's an old mistake you're still carrying around. Just because a thought appears doesn't mean it deserves to be believed. Second, the way you talk to yourself matters more than you think. Because eventually, you start becoming the person your inner voice expects you to be. If that voice constantly tells you that you are incapable, you'll act like you are. If it reminds you that you've survived difficult things before, you'll act differently too. And third, the most confident people aren't the ones who never doubt themselves. They doubt themselves all the time. They've just learned not to hand the microphone to every negative thought that shows up. Because at the end of the day, you'll spend your entire life listening to one voice more than any other. Your own. So maybe the real question isn't, why do I talk to myself? Maybe the question is, what is that voice teaching me every day? And is it helping me grow or helping me stay exactly where I am?